Hello, my name's Vicki and welcome to A Wealthy Life. This episode's going to be a bit different because I've just had the most extraordinary experience of my entire life, from working in as a university lecturer and working with students to working with business owners, and years and years and years of coaching. And what I want to say to you in this episode is, are you making excuses? Are you blaming others for your lack of success? Or are you taking responsibility? And I'm sure that I will have brought this up in other podcasts. But this one is, are you taking responsibility, or are you blaming others for your lack of success? And let me just share the experience I've had now. I won't name names, but I had this mentee who has spent a long time on a payment plan to get together the money to work with me, and that's absolutely fine. And then literally on our second call, the opening statement was all the justification of why they hadn't done the homework we set. Now, the context I just want to put here is 9 months of payment plan to get together the money to work with me, breaking it up into half-hour calls because that is the way they wanted to work. So I'm doing everything I can here. I'm not trying to make myself a savior, but I know how valuable this time is. So in my eyes, this time has taken a lot of time to earn the money, a lot of time to invest the money, and therefore, whatever the true monetary value of this 30-minute call is, the effort to get to this 30-minute call is even more. So it's really important that these 30 minutes are productive and actually move this client forward. So to arrive on a call where the first 5 minutes are all the justifications of why they haven't done the homework, when I'm thinking, well, if you didn't do the homework, why are we having the call? Why didn't you just move the call? And actually, because of my coaching background, this idea of justifying when you haven't done things is actually something that speaks to mindset for me. As the call went on, we then got to the stage where they lost their temper. Just before they lost their temper, what happened was they were distracted by their phone and the head went down. And of course, when your head goes down on a Zoom call, you never know whether someone's taking notes. And I was explaining a process that they needed to go to. So I thought they were taking notes. And then all of a sudden, in the middle of me speaking, they said, oh, I needed to just take that call from my wife. And I went, were you messaging on your phone then? And they said, yes. And I said, so you weren't listening to what I was saying? And they said, no. And then they lost their rag. I don't know whether they hit the screen or whatever they did, but then they hung up and they left. I've never been so disrespected. And I don't think that that's really what this is about. This is about disappointment, I think. This is about, I suppose this is ending up as a bit of a waffle about me, but it's not to be. It's about you. I really want you to hear this. I absolutely, passionately value my time. I absolutely, passionately value your time. I absolutely, passionately want to help you be successful. If I see or experience you doing something where you're getting in your own way, I might be blunt when I say it, but I feel the need to offer you the idea that this action or this thought or this behavior is maybe what's stopping you from your success. And I can't help myself with that. And yes, people refer to me as blunt. I think the people that refer to me as blunt are the people that don't like what I say. And that sounds very odd. And I am very direct, and I don't mind being direct, because why are we dancing around? At the end of this, and I'm going to bring this into context now, whether you want to blame COVID or blame the war in Ukraine or, oh, goodness me, what have we got now? Monkey fever or monkeypox or something, or the government talking about a recession, which is a big thing coming, right? Whatever you want to blame, that's your choice. And I've said this very definitely before, I believe everything we have in our lives is a result of the decisions and the actions we take. We are in control of our lives. Yes, we are in an Uber environment, but our lives, the macro that we deal with, is down to us. Now, notice I'm calling it an Uber environment, and our lives are the macro that we live in, not macro and micro. We're not micro. We're not just little organisms in a body. I don't know about you, but I'm an important organism, important organ in this body of our country, in this body of our world, and you are too. We have vital roles to play. Even if our roles are small, we have vital roles to play. Without us working and generating taxes, without us producing products and services, without us buying goods and circulating our money, without us having ideas and sharing with them with others, without our votes to influence what little that does to influence the government, without us standing up when we see something is wrong, without us reaching our hand out to someone that needs our help. We are all vital parts of this uber organism in which we live, this planet, this society. We all have roles to play. But you cannot let this uber environment dictate how you live on a daily basis. Caveat, of course, there are certain laws that we have to follow, like you're not supposed to speed and please don't kill anybody, and there are some sensible societal rules, but the rest of the stuff is phenomenally driven by social media, by the news on the TV, the news in the papers, the conversations that people are having. And you know, if you've done any sort of mindset stuff, that there is a belief that you are the sum of the people around you, that if you surround yourself with people that want to be successful, with people that are focused, that will help you. If you surround yourself with people that are making excuses and that are plying out conspiracy theories and that are busy blaming others for their lack of action or their lack of success, then that will rub off of you. So are you focused on your success, or are you making excuses? And let's move away from the very bizarre experience I've had this morning to how you can tell. And how you can tell is the language that you use. So let's pick up on a couple of the words. So the first word is try. Do you use the word try? Or you could even use the word hope. I've got a builder that didn't work for me, that tried and hoped a lot, and in the end, not a brick was laid. So if you try to sit up, try to stand up rather. So try to stand up now from where you are, unless of course you're already standing up, in which case try and sit down. You can't. It's the most ridiculous verb, trying, because to try produces no actual output. You can't try and breathe. You can't try and stand up. You can't try and do anything. Okay. So if you hear yourself using the word try, then what you've got to dig back into is why am I using this conditional word? Why am I giving myself the option not to do this? So I'm going to make £1,000 next month. That's a very clear statement for which there is a goal, an amount. You're going to make £1,000. There is a deadline next month. That's fine. Yes, you can sharpen it up. I understand that. I'm going to try and make £1,000 next month. Are you thinking that you'll make £1,000, but it might take you longer than a month? Or do you not believe that you could make £1,000? Or do we go back even further and say you don't even believe that you have the capability to make £1,000? So when you use the word try, go back and look at where this is being used as an excuse, as a caveat. Is it about having the time? Is it about having the skills? Is it your belief in yourself? So that's one word there. And I worked with a mentor a good many years ago, and if he heard you use the word try, you had to get on the floor and do 10 press-ups. And I would love it if you did that to yourself. That is one way to make yourself super aware of that word, and listen to it in your family members, listen to it in your children. I know this is a very strong statement. Don't allow your children to just try. Encourage your children to do. Encourage your children to be. Encourage your children to have. You know, those are very positive words with very definite outcomes. If they try and do well at school, if they try and do well in an exam, if they try and tidy their room, if they try and get up, you're actually almost enabling them to have an excuse for why they will never achieve either what they want or what they're capable of. So that's the first word, try. The second word is because. So if we look at the word because, what happens with because is you say a sentence and then you go because, and you justify it at the other end. So do you use the word because a lot? Now, you can use this to explain, let's keep with the children and tidying the room for a minute, because it's a simple example. I want you to tidy your room because keeping a tidy room means that you can find everything that you're looking for, or because it helps your mother or your father not to have to do the cleaning, or because you share a room with your brother or your sister and it's just a nicer environment to live in if you both keep your rooms tidy. So that's an explanation that enables you to add more information to the first half of the sentence. But when you use because and then what comes after the sentence sounds like an excuse, then it's a justification. I didn't do the homework you set me because I didn't have enough time, because this was happening and that was happening. So watch what happens after the word because. Do you use it to describe more, enhance, and solidify the first part of the sentence? Or are you using it as an excuse? And if you remember back to the episode, I can't remember which one it was, maybe the last episode or the one before, where I talked about 3 questions. You know, everything in your life, you need to ask yourself the question, why? Why is this relevant to me? And what do I need to do? If you use because in the right way and the sentence afterwards is the detail, what you can actually be doing is saying to people, why you need to listen to this episode is because I'm going to explain to you how you can be more successful by being focused on your language. So you can see how that sentence works as a positive and actually answers the unconscious questions we have. Why should I pay attention? And what's in it for me, ultimately? So why should you tidy your bedroom, and what's in it for you can be joined together with the word because. The other thing that you need to look at, a third word, is the word but. But is almost like a full stop or an eraser. Actually, it's more like an eraser. When you use the word but, you wipe out everything that has gone in front of the but. I was totally focused on doing my homework, but other things got in my way. So really, the fact that you said you were totally focused on doing your homework, or I'm totally focused on being successful, or I'm focused on saving money, I'm focused on investing in property, I'm focused on being accessible. But again, here is an excuse. This time the excuse is much harder than the word because. There is no positive that can come after the but. The but wipes out everything that's gone before. Because what but is saying is, it doesn't really matter what I said before I said the word but. None of that matters. This is the truth of the sentence. This is the end of the sentence that matters. I don't feel I have time. I don't feel I'm capable. I'm not focused enough. I'm worried about the environment. I want to invest in property, but people say there's going to be a property crash. I want to invest in property, but people say the interest rates are going up. So it denotes what's going on in your thinking. It's almost as if the first half of the sentence is where the consciousness lies. then the word but appears, and actually the unconscious concerns come out. So if I just take you back to this, are you focused on your success, or are you making excuses? And that's a question I really want you to ask yourself. And the exercise, so I've explained these 3 words for you. After this, what I'd really like you to do is to get out a piece of paper and write down the answers to these questions. And I'm going to use the word success as, if you like, a collective noun. And there might be something in there that you can change the word success to make it more relevant to you. I like the word success because success means I have achieved what I set out to do. Yes, I'm very driven. Okay. Maybe what you want to do is be wealthy. Maybe what you want to do is make more money in your business. Maybe what you want to do is become a property investor, whatever it is, whatever the word, if you unpack the word success, whatever that means for you. Maybe I want to achieve my goals. That might be what success means to you. But I'm going to use the word success, and you can break that down into something that resonates with you. So the first question is, what do I want to succeed in, or at, or with? How do I want to be successful? It's that sort of a sentence. And it depends what success means for you, quite the language that you're going to use there. We want to describe what success would look like in the goal stage of it, not what it's going to look like and feel like at the end when you've got it. We'll come to that piece at the moment. But what do I want to succeed in? It's almost like your top line goal statement. What is the purpose of all of this? And if you've been reading the Wealthy Retirement Plan, maybe what you want to succeed in is reaching the point where you are not reliant on a wage style income in order to fund your life. That maybe success would be creating an alternative stream of income so that you then have the time freedom to live the life you want. That's what success is for me. Success is setting about to create an alternative stream of income that means I don't have to work if I choose not to, or I can choose to take time off. I'm recording this for you at the beginning of August because I'm going to take all of August off. And so I need to make sure that I've got the podcast recorded for you ready for the beginning of September. So what does success look like for you? What is this big statement of, I want to be successful at, I want to be successful in, I even want to be successful with? So this big statement about success. And then the second question is, what am I doing to ensure that I am successful? So now what we want to be doing is maybe listing some examples of activities that you are doing that are contributing towards that success. And one of the key things that helps you here, if you remember the alarm that you set at 3:33 in the afternoon, and the alarm at 3:33 in the afternoon says, how have I been successful today? Because it's asking you the question, what of these actions that you're going to write down now have you actually achieved? Because these are the things that are going to get you closer to what that vision of success looks like for you. So, for example, for me, I know what I'm doing is I'm currently generating and organizing our finances so that we are ready to buy our next investment property. So that's the big action that I'm doing. And then there are all the little sub actions that come towards that. And some of the sub actions are, I'm paying attention to our income and expenses so that I'm managing our personal finances. I'm creating business through the business. I spoke yesterday to 3 new clients that are going to come on board. And then I'm also keeping an eye out on what's going on in the property market and believe that I've got a deal that is ready for me come the end of September that I'm going to go and buy when they've been through their paperwork. So those are the sub actions. What I'm doing is looking for actions that are going to support me to create an alternative income stream so that I can be free to do what I want with my time in the way that I want it, work when I want to work, and know that my bills are covered by alternative income streams when I don't want to work. That's the essence of a wealthy life. And then the third question that I want to look at here for you is, what is it going to feel like or look like or be like when you achieve whatever the top line of success is for you? So again, using the phrase a wealthy life, what will a wealthy life feel like for you? If you're a feeling person, you'll use, it'll feel calm, maybe you'll feel in control, maybe you'll feel relaxed, maybe you'll feel free, maybe you'll feel excited. If you are someone who uses the language of looking, of seeing, you're a visual person, you will be able to see that you're successful. You'll be able to see the money coming into your bank account. You'll be able to see the friends that you want to see because you don't have to work. So it's seeing language. It'll look wealthy to you, whatever that means. You might also use the language of an auditory thinker. So you'll hear, the success that you have coming back to you. You'll hear what your partner says to you and know that you're successful. You might be a thinking person. You might be a list person. Whatever is your preferred style. And it'll be quite interesting. You might not know your preferred style and you might observe it out of this piece of writing. What will success be like when you achieve it at the other end? So you're starting out by saying, this is the success that I want to achieve. These are the actions that I'm making and doing on a daily basis towards this. And then at the bottom, you're adding in a level of emotion, but also, if you like, in coaching speak, what you're doing is you're going forward in time and imagining a point when you have achieved this success that you want, and then describing it back for yourself now, so that you are very clearly aligned and joined to that future goal, because you have created these sentences that attach you to this future and make it a stronger reality for you, that you're describing that. Now, why am I doing this? It's a little bit on the coachy side. It's back into the mindset side. It's totally born out of the frustration of this call this morning. This person has been around in my circle wanting to work with me for more than 7 years. And what I don't want, not that it's really up to me, is I don't want you to come back 7 years from now and nothing have changed for you. I want you to be successful, whatever that means to you. I want you to have a wealthy life, whatever that means to you. I can help you have that. But sometimes on that journey, what we need is someone to come into our lives and say, you are focused on all of the wrong things. And I've had this in my life. I'm in the position I'm in because mentors have had those strong conversations with me, right? I'm not a coach. I can use coaching techniques, but I'm not here to say to you, so how do you feel about that? And what would you do in that situation? I'm a mentor. I've been through this, and my role is to share my experiences to speed up your journey to achieving the success that you want to have. So look at your language. I learned about language. I paid attention to my language, and I noticed when I slipped back, and then I put it back in place, those exercises to remind me that trying will get me nowhere. It's not a verb, as with hoping, that gets you anything. All right. When I use because, am I explaining it to you, or am I justifying why it didn't work? And when I use the word but, what am I really saying? What's the second half of that sentence? And how can I constantly focus on the success that I want to achieve? I sit down with my partner, Bob, soon to be my husband, Bob, and we will write down and discuss what we collectively want. And then I will create, if you like, a subset of goals, which are the actions that I am going to take to lead us towards this joint vision of how we want to live. Do you have those conversations with your partner? Do you have those conversations with your children? Do you have the 3:33 alarm set in your phone so that every afternoon you are reminded of what this is all about, what you are aiming to achieve? And just to round off, I suppose the ultimate frustration out of this, and I will go on about this a bit over the next few podcasts, because I am now reflecting on how much I have achieved in the last 5 months. So from March to the end of August, we have built a massive redevelopment of our residential property. We have dealt with builders not showing up and having to pursue legal action against them. I have, let me be clear here because Bob's not been well, I have managed a lot of the project management. So on a daily basis, I am project managing a complex site with multiple trades. I'm making sure that we have the right materials. I'm making sure that the trades are lined up. I'm making sure that they're behaving on site and doing what we ask them to do. I'm also a labourer, periodically clearing up or digging or doing something extra that we need to do in order to get things ready for the next trade that comes in. I'm also running my business. So since April, I have sold 3 of our own portfolio, remortgaged one, and I'm preparing to buy another. I have helped clients buy 5 investment properties. I've worked with mentees to secure 2 properties and 1 remortgage and soon to be a 3rd property. I have worked with new clients, and I have 2 new clients in the pipeline that I am securing deals for at the moment, and 3 new clients that are about to come on in September. I've produced a podcast every single week. I've been driving all over the place, making arrangements for the wedding, getting outfits done, sorting out food, sorting out caterers, sorting out suppliers. So that comes from focus. I'm no different to you. I have no more hours in my day. I have no more days in my week. I sleep a lot. And can I tell you a secret? I watch TV in the evenings, regularly from 7, 8 o'clock, sometimes a bit later, depending on what we're doing at the house. I can sit down of an evening and watch TV. I have my weekends, sometimes working at the house, sometimes relaxing. We've been to Hampton Court Flower Show. We've been to Chelsea Flower Show. We've been to the Birmingham Flower Show. We've been out with the Friends of Savile Gardens to events that they've run. We've had our horrendously complex family birthday season in June and July with multiple evenings going out and adventures. So I still have personal time. I still have time with Bob. I'm still having fun. I am. It might not sound like it today, but I am. I am still having fun. And I love the fact that we are nearly there on this build. At this precise moment, there's 18 days till we get married. We've got most of the kitchen, not a worktop. We've got first coat inside the house. We're on to the final coat outside of the house. We've got a patio. No, we don't have a garden at the moment, but we're going to get to that next. So all of these things, and I'm ticking them off because I know what success looks like to me. I have short-term success. Let's get to the wedding. We have the bigger success, which is the leading the wealthy life. I have income coming in so that I can now take all of August off work because I am focused on how I want to live my life. I receive emails in my inbox saying America's gone into recession and, Europe's going into recession. But I can also see that the house market, as busy as it ever has been, the trades are so busy. They are picking and choosing what jobs they do. We can't get products delivered to us when we want them because there aren't enough delivery jobs. So there are people out there potentially not working that could be working. There are employers that need staff to fulfill orders that they have. And if we can just focus on that. So what if the economy is, interest rates are high and they're managing those and the cost of living is high? How do you get yourself out of that? You generate income, you pay taxes, and you move forward. And yes, our tax burden is heavy. That's a whole nother conversation. But you work your way out of a recession. You don't sit back and go, oh, there's a recession. I can't do anything now. I'm not going to invest in my business. I'm not going to invest in myself. I'm not going to invest in my future. I'm just going to be passive here. We can never really influence the Uber environment, I think, until we gather a tribe of like-minded people together. Take, for example, Greta Thunberg. She galvanized young people to speak about the climate and climate change, and how much more in the public environment and public knowledge is the environment now because of the work she did. We can do this ourselves by gathering around us people that are focused on success, people that want to make a difference, people that want to achieve, people that want to leave a wealthy life, people that want to leave a legacy. And let's look at speaking to those people and gathering them together, and we can ride this out. We don't need to be passive. We are in charge of our own macro environment, and we are an important part of this environment, the wider Uber environment that we're in. We have a role to play. And I want you to focus on your success. I really do. Please don't make excuses. The excuses will get you nowhere. The excuses will keep you stuck in the position you're in while everything else will move forward and leave you behind. So effectively, you'll move backwards because others will be focused on their success and moving forward. And I know that if you're listening to this podcast and you've been listening over the last 20 or something episodes that we're at, that you are focused on your success, because otherwise you wouldn't be listening to this, that you do want to make a difference. And that's why I brought up this story today about don't justify why you're not doing things. Listen to the words that you're using, set in place clearly and on paper. It does make a difference when you engage your hands and your eyes and your brain by writing things out. Engage in what success looks for you. And let's make this autumn and into the next year, 2023, really successful. And that's what the next few podcasts are going to be about. I hope that I've done much more than plant a seed in composting terms. We've layered lots of information over the last few podcasts. This is me going into the compost and stirring it all up, mixing it all up so that we can actually move forward and turn our compost into something valuable in our financial garden, something that we can spread about, mixing all of these ideas up and making a difference for you. My name's Vicki Wushay, and as always, I really appreciate your time listening to my podcast. I hope this has been valuable. I hope it's not been too moany or about me. It's about you. It's about your success and how I really passionately want you to succeed. So let's hope that you will see me on the next podcast. And my name's Vicki Wushay. I hope that I've put a little bit of whoosh in your life. Thank you very much.